our Constructors Standings for the 2025 F1 season.
Oh, everybody loves a good prediction.
Yeah,
everybody loves a good prediction.
Exciting stuff. So, without further ado, we'll just jump straight into the predictions.
So I shall kick these off with, in my P10 for the Constructors, I've gone Sauber. I just don't see an improvement. Like, the back end of last season, they were okay. Like, obviously, Guan Yu getting P8 in Qatar.
Yeah.
But compared to all the other cars, by far, the 10th.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've got Sauber 10th. It's mainly because I think because Sauber's changed to Audi next season, I think they'll put more of their time and effort into the 2026 cars.
Yep.
Perhaps Audi will be a midfield team rather than a backmarker like Sauber. So they're in the transition.
That would be fun to see.
We'll have to see really how Bortoletto does.
Yes,
we know
with the constructors, this has to link as well to the drivers.
True.
For the 2 point tallies. But I just don't think it's going to be a very one-sided team, I think. It's going to be a very one-sided team. And a one-sided team in a car as slow as Sauber is something you don't really want.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nico Hülkenberg will do the best he can in the Sauber. Perhaps breaking into the points in a couple occasions, but it's very unlikely, unless they might Shortman actually perform.
I know last year Sauber got how many points across the whole season?
I think it was only 4 from Guan Yu in Qatar.
I could see both drivers getting point finishes.
Finishes, decent.
I don't, because I think this year is going to be a very, I want to say close, but I do think Sauber's going to be miles behind. Yeah. But I do think both drivers are going to get, I think Bortoletto might only get 1 or 2, but I think you could see the Sauber of Hülkenberg finishing the points a little bit more regularly than what we're used to.
So with that, do you reckon every single team's going to score a point then?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going for?
No team's going to be on 0 points, but I think Sauber this coming season is going to do what they did last season and start off quite painful. Off finishing races 19-20. Yeah, maybe 17-20 at max with Hülkenberg. But I think they are going to be the weakest team. But they are still going to score a reasonable amount of points, all things considered, for Sauber.
Solid. I agree. I think Sauber's going to be a solid 10. However, for 9th,
let's see who you got.
I've got Visa Cash Up RB.
Oh, you've gone
in 9th. 2 reasons. Isaac Hadjar, a little bit inexperienced, obviously first season in general in F1. Will he beat the likes of obviously Yuki Tsunoda? I don't think so. I think Yuki has well established himself in the sister team to Red Bull. Yeah, you could argue he should have had the seat, but that's not a topic we should not get into. It's predictions.
That's possibly a debate for another episode.
But yeah, so generally for me, the vibes of VCarb, I think they're a backmarker team. I don't see them reaching into the midfield. I see them just outscoring Sauber by a margin. As you will see, sort of. When we do our drivers' predictions, where I've put the VCarb drivers and Sauber's drivers.
So I've also gone VCarb in 9th. Sort of the same reasons. Again, it's going to be a very one-sided team.
I definitely agree, yeah.
So obviously being a one-sided team isn't too bad for high up the order of cars, but VCarb, this is why I put RB higher, because obviously Hülkenberg is a bit more experienced to Tsunoda, but I think Hadjar's a bit more experienced than Bortoletto.
Yeah, you've got
so I feel like it does even out, but I think RB would have the slightly faster car.
Yep.
Which is why overall for me they're 9th, not 10th.
Yep.
Because the experience between the 2 drivers are equal, but the car would have the slightly faster car.
Yeah.
So overall I do put them higher, but I feel for me the bottom few could be pretty low.
Yeah. No. So moving on to our 8th position.
This could be pretty controversial.
Ooh.
I've gone for Haas.
Haas. Ooh, okay.
Because I don't know, like obviously Ocon's been with like Renault and Alpine for quite some time, which obviously they're basically the same car. Kind of, you know. It's very, very similar. Obviously Alpine basically being owned by Renault.
Yeah.
So him going from having quite similar cars basically a lot of his career to suddenly changing to Haas.
Yeah.
And which arguably is a little bit of a downgrade.
Yeah,
but
you could
it's
argue
not
that, or a sidestep, potentially, just a side.
Yeah. And then you've got Ollie Behrman.
Yes.
It wouldn't surprise me if Behrman outscored Ocon. It wouldn't surprise me. It might not happen because Ocon is a very underrated driver.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me if it's a solid lineup. If those two drivers were, say, in a faster car, that would be a great team. But for me, the Haas, I think since they had such a good season last year, they're not going to do as bad. 'Cause obviously, 2023, they were bottom of the Constructors. Last year, they were 7th. That's a 3 bump. But for me, I think there's going to be a lot of getting the drivers used to the car. By the time they're fully used to it, they can't quite get to anywhere. Yeah. And I feel like you might understand me with the team I put above them in 7th.
Yeah.
But for me, Haas is 8th.
No, that is... I'm going to disagree.
Ooh.
And I have put in P8 Alpine.
Ooh.
Now, the thing with Alpine, they've got one very good driver, Pierre Gasly.
Yeah.
They've got the rookie of Jack Doohan. When he performed, I was going to say, so yeah, for me, I've got Alpine just because I think Gasly will definitely destroy both Franco Colapinto and doing it, in my opinion.
Absolutely. If we get 2021 Gasly, if we can get 2021 Gasly in an Alpine, because 2021 Gasly was in the slowest car.
Yeah.
And still managed to win in Monza, which is a very fast track, and he was in arguably the slowest car.
Yeah.
So how Bro managed to pull that off, I do not know. So if that Alpine could be a mid-table car, which wouldn't surprise me if it is.
Yeah.
I don't see why we do not see an Alpine podium. I'm going to put it out there.
Well, yeah, we could definitely see it. It depends on the top 5 teams. So the top 5 teams are so far ahead, then you're unlikely to see
if it's anything like last season, if it's
Brazil
like 2024.
So yeah, Alpine in P8 for me. I just generally, because I think my 7th place team has 2 very good drivers.
I think we've got the same 7th. Who have you got?
I've gone for Haas.
Oh, never mind then.
I've gone for Haas in P7.
Never mind then.
Because, let's be real, Behrman has experience in the Haas.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously it's 2025. It's a new car. I think he's already sort of gelled with the team. Ocon coming in as a new face. I think Ocon did the post-season testing with Haas.
But he tested the 21 car, I think. Was
it 21? I generally can't remember.
He tested an old car. Like, it wasn't like the 24 or the 23 car.
Okay, fair enough.
It was either the 2020 or the 2021 car he tested. But he still does have a bit of testing, but
so Ocon, as you said, underrated in my opinion as well. I think he will outperform Behrman this season, mainly because of the experience he has. Behrman won't be far behind. He's
going to do a solid job.
That's why I said why I've got Haas above Alpine, because Ocon and Behrman are 2 solid drivers.
Yeah.
Yes, one's a rookie, but even so, Behrman has showed his pace.
Absolutely.
In the Ferrari in Saudi Arabia last year. And also, you could argue the Haas when he replaced Magnussen Azerbaijan and Singapore, I do believe. I could be wrong with that.
It was somewhere like that.
I know he did 2-3 races with Haas last season as well. So yeah, Haas for me, P7.
I've gone Williams.
Ooh,
yes, Albon and Sainz, because I don't think the Williams car is going to be as good as it was this year.
Ooh, okay.
Obviously, I rated Williams in 2024.
Yep.
Like, they had a decent car. Albon showed some pretty good skill. Sargent, not so much.
Yeah.
Colapinto on his day was great. But now we're looking towards Albon and Sainz.
Yeah.
It's obviously a big step back for Carlos this season.
Yeah,
It is a very, very big step back for Carlos, which is why I feel like the two drivers themselves might do okay.
Yeah.
But I think they're very close to the team to the team I put above them. It's all very close, and sort of from now, I feel like a few of these cars could be quite close together.
Yeah.
It's sort of getting to the mid-table, and the mid-table is normally the closest sort of part.
Definitely.
But yes, for me, I've put Williams in seven. Oh my lord.
So yeah, it's also sort of a new chapter for Carlos. So he might be sort of inspired and for the move to it's a new project for him. He's, let's be real, come probably next season he'll probably be their number one driver, so he might be edged on to perform this season. Whether he'll outperform Albon, I think it'll be close. I think they will be one of the closest duos this season. We move on to our sixth before we go on a rant about Carlos Sainz.
So my sixth,
Albono.
You are going to be I think you're going to be pretty confused, but it's Alpine.
Alpine, okay.
Because if, this is my main thing, because obviously I need to think ahead. If Doohan gets replaced earlier than, say, 12 races and Colapinto comes in for more than half a season in, Alpine are going to creep up that order rapidly.
Yeah.
If that team, if say, Alpine's a very debatable one, but I can personally see, I rate Doohan, I really do, but I rate Colapinto that tiny bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
So, for me, if Colapinto comes in quite early on in the season, and for for a minimum 10 races, honestly.
Yeah.
If, say, Colapinto gets 10 races, him and Gasly are going to start pushing up that order quite quickly.
Most definitely, yeah.
But if you only say gets 5 or 6 races, I feel like he might drop down to where you've sort of put them.
Okay, yeah.
So Alpine, with us, obviously, with the massive speculation of Doohan and Colapinto, they are quite a hard team to place in the constructors now, because you look at other teams and it's like, that's a fit team for the full season. That team I don't think is going to change.
Yeah.
Where you look at Alpine and you look at them announcing Colapinto as their reserve, and it's like, when is he going to come in? It's not, is he going to come in? I feel like right now it's a when is he?
Yeah, so Jack Doohan actually said, I don't know quote for quote in the interview, but he said he wasn't worried about Franco Colapinto as a reserve driver, and it was the fact that it was sort of inspiring him to do the best he can in Alpine. So we might see Jack doing a drop.
If we can see Doohan embrace that pressure and push, I would be really happy for him.
So,
just because he seems like the sweetest guy.
Yeah, he's
so
definitely
if he could be like, you know what, I've got all of this weight on my shoulder. The thing is with Doohan, he's either going to crumble with basically Colapinto lingering, or he's going to be like, you know what, I can use this to my advantage. I can prove everyone so wrong that I keep my seat for a while.
You could argue Alpine being where I put them and where you've put them around that mark. I think is fair.
They're going to be. I think either way, whichever setup, they're going to be fighting for mid-table.
Yeah,
just because their car is going to be respectable.
Yeah.
So I think that they're going to be fighting mid-table either way, but they are going to be very close.
Yeah,
it all just depends who is that second driver.
P5 to P8 will be close. So P6.
Oh yeah, who have you? We were ranting on for Alpine for a lot.
I've got Aston Martin in P6. I rate Fernando Alonso very highly. one of the goats of F1.
Which is the next guy.
I love Fernando Alonso. I think it's Aston Martin. I don't think I could be wrong on this. You might have to correct me. I don't think Adrian Newey's car is this year. I think it's 2026.
I didn't see him at the event.
Neither did I.
I did not see him after the F1 75 event.
He's working on the car. I generally don't think the Aston Martin. I think they'll be slightly better than last season, but slightly better in performance does not mean they will finish fifth for me.
Fair enough.
I think every other team, like the Alpine, like the Haas, like the Williams, will be closer to Aston Martin, and I think Fernando will be probably the best out of the bunch.
Absolutely.
But I genuinely think Aston Martin might struggle a little bit this season. They might be up and down like last season.
Yeah.
I just generally don't think this season they will be.
We also want to wait for Fernando Alonso. Good luck in his rookie season. With the other rookies.
I think he's the favourite rookie to finish the highest this season.
Fairs.
But yes. Yeah. Do you want to say your P5 or do you want me to say my P5? Have you said your P6?
My P6 was Alpine. Yeah.
Alpine, yeah. I'm losing my head.
So I went first with P6, so it's your P5.
Okay, so it's my P5. Are you ready? It is Williams Racing in P5.
Do you know what wouldn't surprise me?
So Williams for me, I think they'll be definitely the underdog. They usually are, but I think they definitely will. That partnership between Carlos Sainz and Albon will be strong.
Yeah.
I think it just depends on the car. I think the car will perform. I think it'll be close between Aston Martin, Haas and Alpine. As I said, 5th to 8th for me is going to be close. I feel like Williams and what James Vowles has done. He said that each car, I can't remember the quote, but he says go crash it because they're working towards 2026. There's rumours that Mercedes is probably going to be the best engine in 2026. Whether that's true or not, don't know. So we might actually see Williams perform much higher next season. Perhaps I'm a little bit rash in where I put Williams this season in P5. That might be pushing it slightly. But no, I generally think Williams in P5. I think they will perform, but they'll be far away from the top 4. So yeah.
My P5 is arguably the most mid team on the grid.
Ooh.
I'm a neutral about this team.
Ooh.
I wouldn't say they're good.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say they're bad.
Ooh. It's spicy.
It's a team whose cars each year are almost as boring as Red Bulls.
Ooh.
I've gone.
Drum roll.
For Team Daddy's money, Aston Martin. Just because they are the definition of mediocre in Formula 1.
Oh, they're very mid.
Like, they're just the most mediocre. I don't hate them and I don't love them.
Yeah.
Although I do love Fernando Alonso.
Yeah.
But again, it's going to be a mid car. One talented driver, one driver who, just like Logan Sargent, likes to bin it into a wall.
Yep.
So for me, they're just a mid team.
I mean, for me, Aston Martin and Williams can change. So, moving on.
The big 4.
To the top 4.
The big 4.
Kieran, what have you got for your 4th?
I've gone 4. I think my top 4. Oh no, slightly. I've gone for Mercedes. I don't know why I'm like holding out. Get out of the top 4 teams. They are the only one with an actual rookie.
Yeah.
Like I know before everyone comes at me, oh, Lawson's a rookie. He's a full-time rookie. He's had many races in Formula 1, so pipe down. Where Antonelli has done one practice session, and in that session binned it into a wall. Obviously, I know practice is different.
He's actually done 2.
What?
Oh, I swear he did 2. I swear he did 2 last season. I could be wrong. Let us know.
Anyway, yeah, I'm a bit thick. But again, if it's also going to be a very inconsistent car.
Yeah.
I feel like this year, since obviously the new regulations coming in 2026, most people are going to be looking towards their 26 car more so than this year. So I think Mercedes is going to be it's still going to be not trustworthy. I can't remember the word what did you just say. Inconsistent.
Yeah.
Inconsistent. It's not going to be consistent. George Russell is also going to be a hard carry.
Yeah.
As much as I do really like Kimi Antonelli, I do really like him as a person, as a driver, and he's talented. He has talent. He has potential.
Yeah.
Putting him into a top 4 team with basically no F1 experience, not to any top 4 team, but to Mercedes. There's two pretty big reasons why that might not be good for a rookie. Recent Mercedes have been inconsistent, as I've already said.
Yeah.
And whose seat is he taking at that team?
Yeah, you've got a point, yeah.
Who is he replacing at Mercedes?
It's a big shoe
That
to
is
fill.
a massive cockpit to fill. So I hope he does well.
Yeah.
But he's very young. He's 18, 19, and he's replacing a 7-time world champion.
Yeah, big.
It's a big ask.
Yeah.
Will he do it? I'm unsure. George Russell, he's good. Talented driver. Well, I just hope his ego doesn't get the better of him this season as it was starting to at the end of last season. So for me, Mercedes are at the bottom of the top 4. Once again.
Yep, I agree. Mercedes is P4 for me. I think it will be an up and down season. They might sneak a couple of wins like last season. I'd probably argue mainly from Russell. Anthony could probably get a win this season. I'm hoping he does.
I would like him too. I would like him.
But yeah, so for me, the main reasons for Mercedes in 4th, inconsistent car, probably. Russell shaping into the team leader. Will he fit that role perfectly? It's up to debate. I think he is getting experience. He's obviously he's probably gained a lot of experience from the 7-time world champion Lewis.
I was going to say,
a couple of seasons.
He probably had arguably the best teacher.
I'd agree. Russell, I think, will outscore Kimi Antonelli not by much. I think both will be on par. Slightly, I think, in my opinion, they'll be slightly on par.
Yeah.
Russell edge slightly. Pause. Russell will perform slightly better this season across the whole season. Mainly because Russell is a very good qualifier.
Not good race pace.
Race pace is up and down.
He's sometimes opened a few opportunities to be overtaken. His defending is, I think, what needs the most work. My thing with Mercedes is, as you said, you think Russell and Antonelli are going to be close.
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, they're either going to be really close.
Yeah.
Or one's fighting for the title while the other one's fighting to stay, in that seat. It's Russell's either going to be miles better than Antonelli, and it's who is this kid? Why is he in a top 4 car right now?
Mercedes trying to do Project Verstappen 2.0, potentially. Who knows?
Potentially.
He's 17 is Antonelli, so...
Or Antonelli brings it close.
Yeah.
There is obviously the chance that we watch this and Antonelli smokes Russell.
Yeah, but that's reality. It could potentially happen.
Realistically, you should never, since Verstappen, since sort of the rookies from sort of early 2000s now, coming from rookies in the 2000s, never doubt them. Who's on the constructors podium? Should we just knock out? You just do it there because it's your turn to go first.
Shall I knock out the top 3 straight away?
Just get the top 3.
Just get them.
Yeah.
Right, so P3.
Yep.
Red Bull.
Yep.
Sum it up. Max Verstappen, amazing driver, talented, probably one of the best on the grid. He's going to perform this season even if the Red Bull is...
inconsistent.
Well, I wouldn't say inconsistent. I would probably argue if the Red Bull at certain circuits lack a bit of pace, I wouldn't call it inconsistent because every track, every team has a track that it's really good at.
Yeah.
Some more than others.
Yeah.
So Red Bull, I think P3, but I think it'll be close between the top 3. Liam Lawson for me is the reason why Red Bull
Yes.
too much. I think he's a chill guy. I think he will cork to the pressure. I don't think he will crack under the pressure.
Yep.
I just think he might not perform as highly as people think. So yeah, that's why Red Bull's P3.
Especially before I start, and I love how the fact that Lawson aged 20 years in 2 days.
I did.
His new haircut. I'm sorry, Liam.
I quite like the curtains before.
Yeah, like his hair, it just makes him look dirty, don't you think?
Yeah.
Not dirty as in like, X-rated dirty, but dirty as in like muddy.
Yeah,
It's
weird.
I don't like it. I don't like it. But Red Bull in P3.
Yeah.
You stated it's going to be Max Verstappen wiping the floor. But is Max Verstappen going to be as reliable as previous years? Maybe not. Just because the car, I don't think will be.
Yeah, valid point.
I think last year is the start of a new era in Formula One. One that is not dominated by Red Bull, but in fact not dominated by one team. We're going to go down. I think we are going into an F1 world where not any car can win. It's not that crazy. But say any of the top 4 could do a good job.
Yeah.
2024 showed that. But it just so happened at the start of 2024, Red Bull was still a rocket ship. And then people caught up. And now, I think now that they've caught up, they're going to stay up there.
Yeah.
So for me, Red Bull, I don't think we're going to see a change.
P2, he's itching to say something, Kieran. He's itching. He's like, I want to say my bit. Wait till your turn.
But we're going to let this pick up. We are going to let JJ get on how I'm going.
So, P2, McLaren. Why? Because it's McLaren. No, joke. So, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, they're a very strong duo. You could argue the best this season. However, why do I have a hunch that there's going to be a Hamilton-Rosberg rivalry between the two? I have a feeling.
Yep.
Most of you might disagree. Who will come out on top between the two? Who knows? You have to see for our driver predictions. But I generally think over the full season, I think Ferrari will have the edge. Because I think McLaren will hit the ground running. I think both drivers will be good at the start of the season throughout. I just see Ferrari just pinching the title this season.
McLaren P2, as you said, again, rivalry. An infighting rivalry can screw up both drivers so heavily.
Yep.
And I think we saw the start of that at the end of last season.
Yep. No.
You look at the start of last season and you see Lando, Piastri really happy together. And I feel like by the end of the season, we weren't seeing them together as much.
Yeah.
They were both very much with their own sort of radio crew and stuff. Which is sad to see because it's the youngest team in Formula One. Like, sort of I'm not sure now with the average age with the rookies coming in. But I know last year they definitely were.
Yeah.
So it's sad to see because they're both got talent, both got potential. But when they don't act like how they should act.
Yeah.
When I feel like they both have a childish side which could screw the team over, could screw them over. So again, I think not necessarily because of the car, but because of the actual drivers, we might see a little drop in McLaren.
P1 Ferrari. That's what I've got. So about that, Charles Leclerc obviously been in the team since 2019. It is his sixth or seventh season.
This?
Charles Leclerc in Ferrari. I think 6th, 7th. In the Ferrari car, so he has experience within the team. He will obviously wanting to push for the title this season. He's up against Lewis Hamilton, who I think will take a few races to get up to pace. But when Lewis is up to pace in a top car, you cannot beat him. That is my opinion. You cannot beat Sir Lewis Hamilton in a top car. He will most certainly probably prevail in most races. So that is probably why I've gone for Ferrari, just because you've got Lewis Hamilton on your team. I should not glaze Lewis Hamilton this much. I generally try not to glaze any driver. He's a 7-time world champion. You've got to give credit to him.
You've got to glaze a 7-time world champion.
So yeah.
I have exactly the same. Ferrari. Arguably 2 of the best drivers on one team. We have a driver, arguably the best driver in the history of the sport on that team.
Yep, definitely.
He's got the most records. Yes, Schumacher's got the same world championships. Lewis Hamilton's got more wins, more podiums, more records. He is the most successful driver in the sport, in the most successful car in the sport.
Strong duo, yeah.
It's a very strong duo. And Leclerc, best driver to not win a championship.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, yeah.
He is the best driver that isn't a world champion.
Yep, agreed, definitely.
Like, I would say the only driver, he's the 3rd best driver on the grid. Current driver. Better than current Alonso, unfortunately, I think.
Okay.
But Max and Lewis, I think, beat him slightly.
Okay, interesting.
Obviously, I don't know, because obviously Alonso's been in a mid-car for a little while.
Yeah, no, you got both.
Because even when he was in McLaren, everyone was like, yo, Alonso's in McLaren, how did he never win a championship? Because when he was in that McLaren, the McLaren was balls.
Yeah.
The McLaren was horrific.
Yeah.
The last good car he had was probably the Ferrari.
Yeah, quite probably, but
yeah, that's why I put Ferrari winning the Constructors.
No, so got the same top 3 there. So that was our Constructors Standings predictions for you guys.
This is our opinion.
Our opinion, yeah.
Yours do not care. Like, yours don't matter. I'm joking.
Why? That's a bit. Yours, yeah. For starters, lovely grammar there. Very grammar sentence that. So we don't. He doesn't mean it. I don't. We'd love to
see yours.
Yeah, we love to hear your predictions. So if you're on the YouTube or if you're watching on Spotify, you can head over to the YouTube. Obviously, posting on YouTube as well as Spotify.
The only time I will bully one of you is if you put Sauber top.
Yeah, some of you might. Who knows? Who knows for your crazy predictions? So yeah, let us know in the YouTube comments. That'll be greatly appreciated.
Also, tell us who you think is going to be the team that impresses the most. Not necessarily wins the championship, because for me, 2024, the team that impressed the most was Haas.
Yes. So let us know who impresses the most. Who will be the biggest flop? Any other crazy predictions you have will be greatly appreciated.
Yes.
We want a conversation with you guys. We'd like you to input, comment, and be part of the podcast.
I feel like by the end of the season, we could look back at our predictions.
Yep.
And look at some of yours.
Yes.
And see how they've turned out.
That would be great. But anyway, we will wrap up the first episode.
Is this the wrap up of the first episode?
We will wrap it up.
Let's go.
I'm excited. We've both been hyped for most of since back end of 2024, 2025 to actually start this GearBox F1 podcast.
19th of February 2025.
Yeah, this is date recorded. Get it in your calendars. This is the start of something brand new.
This is bigger than Australia.
We shall say our goodbyes, but we shall be back in the next episode for the drivers' predictions. Yes. So it's a goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye. Hope you enjoyed.
Box.